say that the Africa Cup of Nations is getting exciting day by day, but is it really? Given credence to the saying, there are no minnows in African football anymore. Okay, so tomorrow the Black Stars will go for a win against Cameroon to ensure they book a place in the next round of the competition. What tactics are available to Coach Kwesi Appiah? Which players should he use? Join us together with our sports pundits. We've got Echo Asma and Ishmael Mate to do the discussions, and then we will touch base with Benedict Owusu Akpisi-Dankwa, who is in the Black Stars camp in Ismailia in Egypt as well. And of course, we'd love to hear from you, so get in touch with us when we activate the phone lines. You can join us on Facebook, on JoyNews on TV, and post your comment as well. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
We see the Jama like we did, and I was excited before our game when Benedict posted all the videos. And I had high hopes, and then we drew, and then came like a loss. I still feel like we lost against Benin. Is it just me? Did we lose?
No, it's the general impression. So it's so gloomy you think that Ghana actually lost the match, even though we salvaged 1 point. You know, we actually dropped 2 points. You know, but it seems like doomsday. You know, and I think it has everything to do with the next match. The result is 2-2. People are disappointed, but it feels so gloomy to the point that it's almost feeling like a lost cause because of the next match. In the estimation of most folks, it's a lost cause. It's bye-bye. We're going to pack our bags right after Cameroon and come and not even play the next match. That's how bad people are feeling. But really, if you slow it down and say, okay, don't forget, besides the 2 top teams in each group, 4 of the 3rd best placed teams also get to progress. So folks haven't really yet thought about that side. I'm just so disappointed.
Okay, so just explain the best group, you know, like what does it mean? What do you have to do?
You know, there are 6 groups of 4, 24. And the 2 top teams in each group proceed to the next stage. So we have, what, 12. But then we need to make up the number to 16. So the 4 of the 3rd best placed teams in all 6 groups will be added to the 12.
Okay.
So even if Ghana came 3rd, worst case scenario, then they will check all the other 3rd place teams and check the stats and use that to pick the 4 out of 6.
Okay.
So if Ghana plays 3rd and we still pick 4 out of 6 and we still can't make it, then really it's a really bad situation.
So if you look
it's not a lost cause.
If you look at that statistics, then the fact that we scored 2 is a good thing, because that could help.
Yeah, but we consider 2. But then you look at the goal scored first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's not a lost cause, really.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Is it same for you? I am afraid that we're meeting Cameroon. Should I be?
I think your concern is legitimate, that we are going to play the defending champions, and given how we performed in the previous game against Benin, concerns from people like yourself, I think it's legitimate. But I do also think that the Black Stars stand a chance against the Cameroonian side. I don't think it's a lost cause yet. Kwesi Appiah and the teams saw how they performed in the first game. They know there are certain changes that they will have to do. The Cameroonian team itself, it's not, even though they are the defending champions, they also have issues on their own. They've suffered issues with injury, they've had issues with bonuses, just like we've had in Ghana here in previous times. So it's even though the situation looks difficult, but then I don't think it's impossible for us to get a win against Cameroon or even get a draw against them. And history even proves it. When Nigeria won the tournament, they drew their first 2 games before they went on to win. The Cameroonian side that won the tournament in 2017 also didn't start so. Nobody gave them a chance when they were going into that tournament, but they went ahead, motivated themselves and went ahead to win the tournament. So that's what the Black Stars will have to do. They'll have to find an intrinsic motivation to go out there to win the tournament.
Ms. Asma, did we just underestimate Benin as Ghanaians? Or we could have actually won that game?
You're talking about the team or outside the team?
No, when I say Ghanaians, outside the team.
Outside the team,
Yes.
yes. Outside the team, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Most people were thinking, oh, Dahomey.
Yeah.
Benin used to be, is it that former Dahomey?
Yeah.
Benin. Really?
Then when you talk about football nations, you don't mention Benin.
But you see, you always have to remember who's in charge, who's their coach. And Dusoya is their coach. He's far more experienced than Kwesi Appiah. He's managed more teams. And you see, some of the white coaches have handled teams on the continent. They have experience on the continent, so they know how to play the African sides. And I remember Kwesi Appiah asking for better preparations way ahead of time. And by that, I remember getting the occasion to suggest to Jubilee House down that the better preparations that Kwesi Appiah is asking would now be in the form of the international friendlies, and that the team should simulate a tournament experience by Ghana hosting 3 other nations, especially against teams whose offenses are more potent than Ghana's offenses, to test Ghana's defense. Because if you check Ghana's group, we scored 8 goals, conceded only 1. But the lightweights in our group, Ethiopia is ranked 150th in the world. Ghana is ranked 50th. Kenya ranked 113th. And yet we even lost to Kenya. We beat them 1-0 here when they got here. But besides those 2 teams, that's it. Sierra Leone, we didn't get to play them. It may have been a good omen. These days, with these results, who knows what Sierra Leone could have done to Ghana. So the defense wasn't really tested.
So are we coming back to the fact that we didn't prepare hard enough? We didn't test?
I thought we didn't give the defense sufficient test. We should have put them in a tournament format to simulate the experience and tournament, at least a 4-nation tournament, to test our defense. That was my source of worry. I wanted the team tested. The last time Ghana won, Kwesi Appiah was in the team. That team went to SCSA tournament in Benin, ironically, in Benin, and the team won, based upon which the tournament experience did help them. Initially, I remember some of their matches, they conceded 5 goals first match, 3 goals the subsequent one. They kept getting better. By the time we got to the tournament, the defense was in shape, and eventually we won. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. You have to prepare. If you don't prepare well, eventually the results will bear out your preparation.
So is it that generally we didn't prepare well, or your issue is simply with the defense?
The state did not help the team in the kind of preparation we afforded the Black Stars. And then there's the issue of the head coach. Subpar, so far.
Yeah?
Yeah, so far. I mean, look at his resume since he's taken the team. Losing to Kenya. Losing to Namibia.
Well, those are friendlies.
Yeah, a loss is a loss. And every time you lose, the cumulative effect is that your ranking in FIFA keeps dropping. And he's been in charge for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
He's been losing to cheap teams along the way. And we keep dropping. Ghana is a big deal in world football.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I saw the headline on CNN, and it felt like a loss. Said disappointing results for the Black Stars, something like that.
The head coach is now pulling his weight.
Yeah. Ishmael, is the head coach an issue?
I think
I have heard people say that we don't have a world-class team. We shouldn't expect a world-class coach.
I think Kwesi Appiah needs some improvement. He has to up his game. But then in a tournament like the AFCON, I think winning the AFCON goes beyond just the coach. If you look at some of the mistakes we committed in the first game, midfielders struggling to string passes through, those are not things that you be teaching a player at the national team level. They play high profile. They play for high-profile clubs, the likes of Partey, Wakaso, and co. Kwesi Appiah is not supposed to sit them down and teach them how to pass. John Boy, the kind of mistakes he was doing at the back, those are not mistakes that you expect Kwesi Appiah to sit him down and teach him. And so, yes, Kwesi Appiah has his issues, but the team will also have to come together and tell themselves, do they really want to win this AFCON, and then put themselves together. It goes just beyond the coach. The players also have a role to play.
But the coach picks the team. The coach picks the players. Let's cite the first goal, for instance, under 2 minutes. And then you see the positioning of the defenders around the center
Were
circle.
we even positioned?
The defenders were around the center circle by the second minute. Doing what? And who's responsible for checking their positioning?
Who is?
It's the coach. I'm surprised that the coaches could not tell that their defenders were out of position.
Wasn't it too early in the game because they were clearly unsettled?
Typically, when we're starting the game, where are the defenders positioned? They are at the back. What caused the defenders to suddenly be around the center circle by the second minute? Doing what? Did the coaches watch them? Did they not see them? Were they sleeping? It's the coach's fault. Because you're supposed to check the positioning. You would think that someone like John Boy with his experience would say, no, stay put. So if he didn't do that with all his experience, what about the coach?
Yeah.
Was the coach watching them? What were they doing around the center circle by the second minute?
We considered in the second minute of the game, and here's why I think the players should also take some of the blame. And in the case he makes against Kwesi Appiah is indeed a valid one, but in the players I still insist also have to take some of the blame. You're starting the game at the second minute, and you play hard. You've played football over and over. They have tournament experience. John Boy has played in AFCON, has played in World Cups, and you are starting a game of that caliber at the second minute, and you've already lost concentration. How is the coach supposed to be playing for such a
But
thing?
then when the defense, it wasn't just John Boy, the entire defense was around the center circle. Doing what?
I saw that.
Well, why do you think they were there? Were they playing according to the coach's instructions? Because that's the other side. You can look at it that way and say, maybe they were there because they were asked to be there. Otherwise, why did the coaches not check it? It's the strangest I've ever seen. Within 2 minutes, we start the game and your defenders are around the center circle. All of them. Doing what? If it's not per instruction, what are the chances that would happen? Do you understand what I'm saying? What are the chances that everybody from 2, 3, 4, 5, they're all up there? Is that a new high pressing game being evolved by Kwesi Appiah? No.
Maybe they were warming up.
Really? You know, so really,
I was also wondering because we're just running around.
You have to blame the coach for that. Besides that, I think that defensively, they may not have some protocols. Some teams do have some defensive protocols that every time the defenders are in contention with attackers, the keeper stays put, unless the defenders are already beaten. But you see the first goal, I blame Ofori for that. It may not seem so obvious. I'm talking about the keeper. The defenders were in contention for the ball. Still in contention. Even in the 18, they were still in contention. Remember, when the attacker was about to strike, it was blocked and he dribbled before tapping it. At that point, if they had defensive protocols to that effect, the keeper would not have come up. He would have stayed put. But they don't have any such defensive protocol. You still have to blame the defenses. Because, and here's when the goalkeeper's coach will come in. Between the goalkeeper and his lineman.
But do they talk to them, within those few minutes?
Because they should have their own protocols. I mean, the defenders and the goalkeeper, especially the goalkeeper. Typically, in that area, he's the boss. He positions them, and they should, between the goalie and especially the central defenders, they have their own protocols. Or sometimes between the 4 and 5, they say, okay, I got this, so you stay put, I'm going. I come and you go. They do have their own protocols.
Okay.
So it's a failure of some protocols too.
Let me bring Benedict in. Let's see if the players themselves realize what they did wrong and they're going to correct it. Benedict is joining us via Skype. Good morning, Kwesi Appiah. You're good?
Yeah, well, good morning.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Let's just build up from just where Mr. Asma left off. The players, having engaged them, do they realize the mistakes that they made, particularly with that first goal?
Well, not just players, the technical team as well. With that things they don't to a last point in the first game, especially with that very first goal. But what they were very excited about was that the fact that they were able to quickly regroup and then came back strongly in the game. Because normally we've seen that in this competition. Yesterday, I don't know if you watched the game between Senegal and Algeria. Algeria scored, Senegal pushed, but they still couldn't get the equalizer. But for us, when they made that mistake and Benin scored, they were able to, equalize, and then.
But Benedict, even before you continue, we were not playing Algeria or Senegal. We're playing Benin.
Maybe there's nothing like you are playing Algeria, you are playing Senegal. If you've really been following the tournament, if you've been really watching, things have changed. Did you see how Madagascar played their game? It's not about the side you are playing, but it's about what you do on the day. You cannot underrate any team in the competition that we are playing. In African football, things have changed. I mean, from the qualifiers, if you all monitored our qualifiers against Ethiopia, against Kenya, we went away and we lost to Kenya. Who would have thought when we were going to play against Kenya that Ghana were going to lose against Kenya? So things have changed. I mean, yes, Eko talked about how, for us, we underrated Benin. I think that was what made it worse for the reactions that came after the game. People thought that Benin is not a team we should worry our head about. But previous times we've been struggling to beat Benin. I mean, it's not even just about Benin. Botswana is not noted for football, but at the 2013 Nations Cup, we suffered to beat Botswana. You understand? So things have changed when it comes to football. I think that it's we the fans that we normally put the pressure on ourselves, and it extends to the players. If we understand that things have changed and that we should just encourage our players to step up when they go into games, because these players know very well that no matter which team you are playing against, even if you are playing against Burundi, Madagascar, and you go there and you don't give your best, you won't get a good result.
Okay, so Benedict,
so it's about the team not.
Yeah, has this affected the way we're training for this next game?
Of course, I mean, we know our opponent. If we struggled against Benin, which Mamavi and other people think that we should have, beaten, then Cameroon definitely will come tough because they are defending champions. The last time we met Cameroon was at the last tournament in the semi-finals. We lost to them 2-0. Their team, of course, they have the most valuable player from the last tournament, Basobog. Chupomoting is back in the team. Other players that refused to honor invitations in the past are in the team. They have one of the best goalkeepers on the continent, Onana, who plays for Ajax, and we saw how well he played in the UEFA Champions League. So on a basis of that, then you have to prepare. If what you did for Benin was 5, I want to believe that they will do 10 for Cameroon. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to watch the Cameroonians training. They are very much ready for this game. They know very well that if they're able to get a win, they will seal qualification to the next stage of the competition, having won their first game. And they know how the Black Stars will come into the game, because Ghana drew the first game, which was disappointing, and then Ghana would want to get one revenge, would want to get a win to revive their campaign. Will not want to go through the calculation where we are thinking of possibly maybe one of the third best placed teams to make the next stage of the competition, but will qualify just as the likes of Algeria and Egypt have qualified, the likes of Nigeria. You understand? So they are also much aware. But with our preparations, especially our training yesterday, the training after the game was a recovery training, but yesterday's training was a real deal. Yeah. And you could see that the coach definitely will bring some changes. We will see some changes because John Boy will not be available after the red card. There will be a change there. We'll see some changes in midfield. From what I saw, it looks like if Appiah and Kuja Samoa will all come in with Moba Akwakasu, Thomas Partey playing as well. So we should expect a lot of changes, and the attitude definitely will be different from that of the Benin game.
So, Dede still didn't train yesterday, correct?
Yes, Dede didn't train. Yesterday he was at the training ground, but he didn't take part in the training. But I understand that it's just a precautionary measure. He's likely to be, pass fit by close of day today, so he can be available for selection tomorrow. But Thomas Japan has been ruled out of the game.
Okay, Benedict, stay with us. Let me come back in the studio based on what Benedict has said in terms of our training and the people who are likely to be in the game tomorrow. What do you say?
I think the injuries could be a blessing in disguise if a lot of people have called for Dede to go out of the team, start from the bench.
For Dede to go out?
Yes, because it kind of offsets the midfield balance. Dede usually plays in from the wings, and because of his lack of pace, usually you expect him to drift into the middle, and then it makes it difficult for the likes of Partey to also join the attack. So what it means is that if Dede is still injured and is going to start from the bench, then we'll have Kodjo Asamoah starting in midfield, and then you also allow the likes of Partey to also play their natural game. We'll have a natural winger also on the wings. That will also help our balance in the midfield. But then again, you look at the Cameroonian team coming, and like he said, they are full of confidence. It's going to be a difficult one for Ghana, but I don't think.
Match.
Yeah. But it was against Guinea-Bissau. But
oh yeah, that's the same thing that we also say. It was against Benin.
I don't.
You just said, oh yeah, but it was against Guinea-Bissau.
You couldn't even beat Benin. You have the nerve to say, oh, it was against Guinea-Bissau. You think this team can even beat Guinea-Bissau as is? You don't know that. So you have to give them their due. They won. You couldn't beat Benin. And you are saying, oh, Cameroon, they only won against Guinea-Bissau. Really? You don't have a case. If Ghana had won by a wide margin, and then you could dismiss the Cameroonian winners, oh, it was only against, we didn't win. So we have no right to try to dismiss Cameroonian victory.
I agree with
My
you.
problem with what's happening now is that, okay, this is like we hit the panic button. So I'm hoping that the psychologists in camp would work on the technical
Do you think
team.
they will be panicking?
Oh, of course, they'll panic. Because we had feedback from the coaches to tone down the criticism back home because they are monitoring and it's affecting the coaches. You know, so
Are they allowed to? Are they allowed to monitor?
oh, why?
Sure.
They monitor all the time, the players and everything. You know, they have folks back home that are.
So they care about what we say.
They do, and we should want them to feel good, to help them because our destinies are tight. Oh,
we want to upset them so that it would translate into them wanting it so bad to change the narrative.
Yes, but they need to have a clear mind and be able to focus on the mission at hand. That they are the battle fighting, and they are at war. We're here, they are at war. They have to win, or we'll lose our territory, or we'll go under another nation's domain and all that. So they need to focus on do that. So our job will be to help them with advice here and there, not to overly criticize them to be destructive. No. My main concern, though, is the defense. Now, without John Boy, what's going to be the central defensive pair? Is it going to be Edu and Nuhu? They've never played together in a competitive match, much less going up against the defending champions, which is a big deal. What's going to be the chemistry? You know, they never played together even in a friendly. So the headache is the midfield.
So Ishmael was talking about the fact that if Dede doesn't play, then it gives the opportunity.
He has usurped Partey's position, the role, especially that
the captain.
He has, you know, but Partey is so versatile he can fit in here and there. But best case scenario, you want Partey in that position where they played.
Okay.
If he's not going to be fit, fine, leave him alone.
So it could be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, but the defense is my headache. Look, Cameroon in the qualifier, they scored 6 goals, conceded 3. Their strength is the defense. They hardly concede. Now you play against Benin, that conceded 6 goals, guaranteed 1 goal every match they concede. Right? So. And then Ghana scored 8 goals in 4 matches, consistent, averaging 2 goals. We did get our 2 goals against them. Now you're playing against a team that hardly concedes, right? But the team also scores 1 goal per match. Now, if we go by that format, if Benin can score 2 goals against Ghana, you are saying Cameroon cannot score 2 goals against Ghana. Really? Especially when now we have a new defensive pair that's never played out against any such opposition. That's the problem. And then in the midfield, you're going to have a new combination. The good thing about some level of consistency is Kwesi Appiah and Wakaso. They play together for a long time. It's seamless combination if they're playing. With the Koja Samoa, you don't know how it's going to pan out. You know, so the coaches really need some peace of mind to piece it up and get us, at the very least, get a draw. I think they must strategize for a draw.
Okay.
Because it won't be the worst case scenario. We'll still get only 2 points, but it's better than opening up against Cameroon.
Yeah.
Then you're asking for it.
Okay.
If you really open up against Cameroon, you're definitely asking for it. Because number one, they have better defense than you. They have better offense than you. They just scored 2-0. Their confidence is up there. So you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot.
Okay.
Manage the situation. You know, that's not to say we cannot score. We can. But don't go all out. I anticipate that the midfield will be choked now to offset whatever offense. Now, then they can play above the midfield, the long balls. The other deficiency in our defense is that we're not very good with the long balls. So if they decide to go long, that's also going to be a problem. So this team has a lot of problems. I don't want to add to it, but it's a fact that the coach is not pulling his weight at all.
Yeah.
At all, not at all. He's not pulling his weight at all. And that's what you get when you don't place qualified personnel at key positions.
Okay, so Ishmael, it sounds to me, and I've heard people say that it will come back to the technical things that the coach would do.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Very much true. Very much true. He talks about the kind of personnel he deploys on the day, and that is going to be a key factor going into this game, because he has to get his personnel right against Cameroon. Against Benin, we kind of struggled with the kind of personnel he deployed, and we have to get those kind of things right, especially when he had to work on the substitutions, bringing the kind of players he brought on against Benin. You understand that the red card complicated issues, but then the substitutions he made didn't inspire. I'm sure it would have been pointed out to him by now, and then he'll look forward to
but that's
working
been
on
his case. Since 2014, he's never had any impactful substitutions.
And then again, the likes of Achu will also have to step up their game. In the first game, very, very disappointing.
He shouldn't even start.
If you are going to pack the midfield like Eko here is suggesting, then you expect a lot of creativity from the flanks. The likes of Achu, like I mentioned, will have to step up his game. Samuel Owusu came on for a cameo. He was taken off because of the red card. But then in that brief spell, we saw what he could do. If he's given the opportunity, I think he can do very well. We've highlighted a lot of the weaknesses of the Black Stars team, but I do not think that this Cameroonian team it's an all-powerful
like
team that we cannot beat. I think we have the strength enough and a lot of creativity to be able to score goals. If you're able to stop them from scoring, they struggle to score goals. The Cameroonian team struggle to score goals. Clearly, if you look at their path from the qualifiers. And if you're able to stop them from getting a goal in this game, I think
2 goals in one match. So that doesn't compete with them struggling to score goals.
Benedict, I want you to jump in here. The technical things that we've heard. By what time should we expect the lineup? Because people really want to see what Kwesi Appiah is starting with.
Wow.
Well, the lineup will come tomorrow. Tomorrow Saturday. That's hopefully by afternoon. We'll have it. First game, we got the lineup, I think, in the morning when the game was 10 p.m. I inquired and I was told because normally it will be leaked in the media and people will be talking about it. So the coach started, why is that okay? Well, we have the lineup, so why don't we just put it out there? Because eventually we'll be in the media. That's why it happened. But I'm sure with the game against Cameroon, it will come by possibly maybe in the afternoon because the game is 7 p.m. here. But, just to add to what Eko was saying in terms of the players that we expect them to play. After watching the training, after every training, if you monitor their trainings, you definitely will have an idea of which players will be starting. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, since John Boy is not going to be available, it's likely that we'll go with what we saw in a game against Benin when Jonathan Mensah came on to partner, Kasim Nuhu. Kasim Nuhu has never played in an AFCON tournament before. This is very first one. Jonathan Mensah has the experience of playing in AFCON tournaments from 2010. Also, you look at someone like Kwesi Appiah. He has the experience of playing in different AFCON tournaments, so he will come in as a holding midfielder, and then we'll have Mubarak Wakasu play in with him as well, and then Kuja Samoa will come in and Thomas Partey will play a more of an offensive role, what we normally see him play at Atletico Madrid at times, and you have someone like Jordan Ayew who is likely to play on the wings instead of playing as the number 9, and then his brother Andre Ayew, he's fit, he also will be on the wing. So we are likely not to go into this game with a recognized number 9. Jordan Ayew is likely to play on the flanks and also come in as a number 9, which means that he's going to have a lot of work to do on a day. But in the midfield, we definitely will be packed with the only recognized holding midfielder in our team. That's Kwesi Appiah, and then we have Mubarak Wakasu as well as Kuja Samoa and Thomas Partey.
Benedict, remind us again, the people supporting our coach. What's the technical team? How does it look like?
In terms of the composition?
Yes.
Okay, so it's Kwesi Appiah, of course. He's the head coach of the team. And then we have Ibrahim Tanko, who is the assistant. Other technical members here, we have Stephen Appiah, who is the technical coordinator between the players and then the technical team. And we have Richard Olele Kingston, who is a goalkeeper's trainer. Also, there are other people around the team. There's a psychologist, that's Dr. Patrick Ofoyi, who was once a psychologist of the team somewhere in 2008. And then there is physiotherapists. We have physiotherapists, some from Ghana, some also from the UK. There's a video analyst to the team, one from Ghana, one from the UK. And then there's a physical trainer, that's Paul Maxwell, who's been doing an amazing job on the players. But 2 years ago in Gabon, we had a physical trainer, but normally we saw and recognized about our team was that anytime we play the first half, we go into the second half, we see our players very, very tired. But in this tournament, at least the first game is anything to go by, with the exception of Christian Achu, who had tired legs. I didn't see that as the other players. All of them, had power in them and could run for the 90 minutes. For Maxwell has done an amazing job on the team. So that's the composition of the technical team. But you know something? Coming into this tournament, we were talking about how we had so many backroom staffs. Maybe yesterday I went to the Cameroon training. I asked the backroom staff, as many as 26.
And how many in total do we have?
Ours wouldn't be more than 13. Because if it's anything to go by, if I'm to count, if we have Kwesi Appiah, we have Ibrahim Tanko, we have the 2 video analysts, that will be 4, and then Stephen Appiah will be 5, SK is 6, and then we have physical trainer for Maxwell, that's 7, another 2 other physiotherapists, that will be 9. They won't be up to 11. And Cameroon, they have as many as 25, 26 backroom staff.
Okay. But Cameroon also, they've got their own issues. I mean, do they have issues with money or something like that back home?
Yes,
something like that. But I want us to, build up on the power issue, the fact that I saw you nodding to the fact that we didn't get too tired even in the second half, which is an improvement.
Yeah, bottom line, you have to win. Bottom line. I'm disappointed in what portends for us tomorrow, going by what Benedict's saying, because you can get a good idea as to the lineup if you watch the training. Like he's saying, I didn't hear Asamoah Gyan's name. I'm very disappointed.
In the sense let's just cross over and clarify that.
He's our best free kick taker.
You didn't see Asamoah Gyan actively participate, did he?
You know what happens is up to players for participating in training, but there are times that we are very vigilant. Okay, if you are very vigilant and you follow the team a lot in their training, you have an idea of the players that are going to start, especially those that are going to start at one place, and those that will come in as subs will be at the other place where that will start to play against them. But in that training, I didn't see Asamoah Gyan. But just like what you're saying, just as what you're saying, I just want to add something. I would have loved to see Asamoah Gyan start, because you know what he gives us? He gives us the edge, where the Cameroonians definitely, because they know Asamoah Gyan, his caliber and what he's done and what he can do, will not be pushing more up front. So what it means is then we'll get the opportunity to attack more.
Yeah, let me let Echo develop that point, and then we'll come back to you, Benedict. Stay with us.
Just right there, go with just like that. His presence will affect their build-up. They always have to account for him. Where is the guy? You always have to account for him, because we've had opportunities on the field of play where we have dead ball situations we must convert. The games become so technical now, you take advantage of the little opportunities you have. The Ghana team does not score from corner kicks, does not score from free kicks. It makes the team too average and too predictable, because even against Benin, they converted a corner kick. Their second goal was a corner kick. You see, so if they were not good at corner kick, they would have lost the game. Now, contrasted with Ghana, Ghana doesn't score from corner kicks, doesn't score from free kicks. So it makes our game difficult to win. These are the areas I expected the technical team to have worked on.
So it would make a difference to you if Asamoah Gyan was starting.
Asamoah is our best free kick taker. He takes free kicks, he converts. He has a higher free kick conversion than anybody else. Right next to him is Pate. You saw him, he made an attempt. And then the other one he put in the stands. Asamoah is better than anybody on the field when it comes to free kicks. So our trainers are not thinking about that side.
Yeah, indeed, I agree. I'll be disappointed if Kwesi Appiah doesn't have Asamoah Gyan in his plans going into the game against Cameroon. Even if it's not going to start, he definitely has to play a role in that game. His influence, you cannot underrate or undermine. Like he said, Asamoah's presence on the field will put some bit of fear. I remember in the tournament in 2010 when we sent the very young team there, the first game, I think Asamoah Gyan did start, and then he was introduced. Immediately he came onto the pitch, you could see the composure of the team we're playing against. They were nervous and everything. So Asamoah Gyan is highly respected and definitely has to play a part in tomorrow's game.
Could there still be issues? The fact that we didn't see any change in terms of even the first game, Asamoah Gyan coming on, and if you look at what Benedict said in terms of the training, he probably wouldn't start this game.
I thought he was going to come on later because by his reaction when John Boy was taken out, it was clear that he was expecting to come on. And with John Boy's red carding, there was no chance.
Yeah.
And so there may have been plans to introduce him later on, but I would rather in the Cameroon match be unpredictable and rather start him because you shouldn't give your opponent too much opportunity to predict you. You know, they're not expecting Asamoah Gyan to start by now. But I would name him to start. I'll start him because you don't want the opposition to get an early goal, to start strong. They hold up their build up a little bit with Asamoah's presence. Not that he will do extraordinary, but in the event we get a dead ball situation around the 18, and Ghana does get a lot of fouls on the opponents, around the opponent's 18. We never convert. We never convert. Imagine if we converted even one free kick per match, just one. You know, it will keep us competitive because there are other ways we can score. You know, we can score from corner kicks, we can score from free kicks. It's an indictment on the technical team. So that's how I know our technical team are not pulling their weight. Definitely, they're very deficient. You know, so if they don't get the job done, then that will be it for them, really, because. And Kwesi Appiah is in a precarious situation, not just him, all of our local coaches. If Kwesi Appiah succeeds, they are good. If he doesn't succeed, then we'll be going for a foreign coach again because he represents their fortunes. Right now, he has to succeed for all of the local coaches to continue in that capacity.
Otherwise, we're not going.
Otherwise, we'll have to go for it again. Because even in this instance, it was not based on merit. It was just based on sentiment. That, oh, let's go get our own. You know, let's go get an indigenous coach. But my thing is, however indigenous he may be, or however industrious he may be, is he going to be illustrious? It shouldn't be based on, oh, let's get an indigenous coach. We should go for the best. Ghana is a big deal in world football. We should sustain our standing in world football and not take these sub decisions that affect the kind of seasons we're having. It's really not good. Very poor decision to go for Kwesi Appiah. So now he has to redeem himself.
Yeah. Let me just announce that you can join us on 030221169102. That's our phone numbers. Yeah. But Benedict, there is local supports where you are in terms of Ghanaians who are supporting the players. What have they been saying? Do they also feel disappointed like some of us do?
Well, first game the way. I mean, with everything that we've done with our preparations, which all of them have said has been the best ever they've ever had since being in the Black Stars, and the expectations and everything that we all went into that game with. Of course, myself, I was disappointed. The few people that were at the stadium, and even not just Ghanaians, the few Egyptians who were at the stadium supporting us were all disappointed and said, "This is not Black Stars of Africa." You understand? So it's not just about a few Ghanaians here, but the Egyptians here also supporting. And Mohamed, to tell you what, all the Egyptians in Ismailia are supporting Ghana. I mean, whether they come to the stadium or they don't come to the stadium, wherever they see you and they ask, are you from Ghana? And you say yes. They say Black Stars, Andre Ayew, Asamoah Gyan, you guys are winning. You understand? So, and they were very, very disappointed, but still they have hope. Yesterday, for instance, I was in a taxi when Baba was speaking to me on Joy Prime on AFCON Rocks, and there was a policeman that stopped the taxi driver, and the policeman asked the taxi driver what I was doing. I told the taxi driver that I was on radio, so he should tell the policeman not to ask me any question, if not he will distract me. So when he came, I directed him to speak to the taxi driver, and then the taxi driver told him that, oh, I'm from Ghana, I'm a journalist, and I'm speaking to my people. And then he started shouting, Ghana, Ghana. They all started shouting, Ghana, Ghana. So I had to actually give them the phone, so you know they get a feel of what we were talking about. That the support here is very big, and they are very optimistic. Those that come to our training grounds to see our training are all very hopeful that Ghana will do very well, and they are giving us the needed support here. So support not that bad here. People were disappointed after the first game, but they felt that we have a chance going into the game against Cameroon and eventually in the game against Guinea.
Okay, Benedict, let me go to the phone lines. I've got Kenneth and Gregory, so I'll speak to both. Kenneth first. Kenneth is in Hohoi. Good morning, Kenneth. You're on air.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Yes. In fact, I have to say we score lucky goals.
We got lucky goals. Is that what you said?
Ghana players, they always score lucky goals.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's not good, it's not good. We have to.
So this game against Cameroon, are you hopeful?
Well, yeah. If they can make good chance, like if they would make advantage of, they would take good advantage of the corner and then the free kicks.
Okay. All right, Kenneth, thank you very much for sharing. Let's speak to Gregory. Gregory Asiedu is in Takrady. Good morning to you. Greg?
Good morning.
I remember we spoke before the Benin game.
Yeah, I had high hopes. Unfortunately, Kwesi Appiah decided to disappoint me.
Oh, you're blaming the draw on Kwesi Appiah?
Yeah. You see, he's the head. He's the head of the technical team, and I've said it that I have called him a PE teacher. I am not sure Kwesi Appiah is the head coach. Mamavi, let me say this without any fear of contradiction. I heard Mr. Asman make the point that we need Asamoah. Asamoah should not even get closer to this team. We don't need his presence in this team. Asamoah, I'm telling you, Asamoah is gone. He's gone forever. He's done.
What do you mean by he's gone and he's done? He's part of the team.
No. See, Mama, we watch football. Okay, we know that Asamoah has no business behind this team. We know the gentleman is finished. I mean, tell me. What has Asamoah done to merit even a selection in this team?
Okay, all right. So clearly you're not a fan of Asamoah.
Yes, it's not that I'm not a fan of Asamoah. He's not supposed to be. I mean, in that team. I think Jordan Ayew did so well. Even maybe if you know, Jordan Ayew won the man of the match against Benin. Check.
Yeah.
He won the man of the match. So I am upbeat. I still think that we have good players to qualify to a 1-16 stage, but it's just that the coach in there, Mama V, he doesn't instill any hope for me.
Okay.
But I will still have to support my own, and then I think that Ghana can go.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, Gregory. Very passionate Gregory there. Thank you very much for sharing. Let's speak to Christopher. Christopher is in Awoshi. Christopher, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Mamadi. How are you doing?
Oh, very well, thank you. I hope you're well too.
Thank you. I just want to say that Ghanaians should be very optimistic in respect of the fact that our first game will do. I have a strong conviction that Ghana will surely beat Cameroon come tomorrow. That's all.
Scoreline?
We are going to beat them 2-0.
Hey, that's big.
I'm very confident.
Okay, all right. I love that confidence this morning. Thank you very much, Christopher. Let's speak to Brown. Brown also is joining us from Nkranza. Good morning to you. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, good morning, Mazi.
Good morning.
My problem is that the coach must make the game up, give the people hope that they can do it. It's not just that you are just standing, giving instructions like a gentleman working in his house. Mama, it's very pathetic that you see some coaches just giving an inspirational word to their players, even when they are even down. So I think we have players who don't be a gentleman on the pitch, just as a gentleman like sitting like somebody who cannot even act. Give the players inspiration. So thank you, Mama B. It should be up and doing. Thank you, Mama B.
Thank you very much. Okay, I have a question about Kwesi Appiah. After Emmanuel, I'll come to you. People expect him to be speaking from the lines, like do something, do some action. But you know him. You've studied him way longer than I have. Emmanuel Jan is in Kumasi. Good morning to you, Mr. Jan. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this black striking actually.
Emmanuel,
Good
we can
morning,
hear
madam.
you. We can hear you. Please turn down the volume on that TV set. Otherwise, we'll continue to get the
This black
feedback.
team, I actually have confidence in them that they can qualify.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
As a best third place team.
Hallelujah.
Okay, Emmanuel. You know what? We have to go off. Turn down the volume on your TV set when you call us, so the conversation can flow. I have to move on and speak to Seth. Seth Fiagoma is in Georgia. Good morning.
Morning, Mama.
Yes, Seth. Thanks for your call. Let's hear you.
In fact, I was surprised when I saw the lineup in our first match against Benin. I was hoping Kojo Asamoah was pitcher, but I didn't see him there, and I was a bit surprised. But the total performance, I wasn't surprised when I saw the lineup and the performance reflected the lineup. So in this round, I think we should make sure Kojo Asamoah comes in, and once the day eventually will be out, Asamoah should also play at least 45 minutes of the match, either first half or second half.
Okay.
Let's see what he has, because he has been scoring goals lately in his club. So with a little bit of luck as it happened in the first match, we'll beat the room.
Okay. All right. Okay, Seth, thank you very much for your contribution. Seth Fiagoma in Georgia this morning. So Seth saying that he was expecting to see Kojo Asamoah in there. And one of my editors screamed when the lineup came that day, and Kwesi Appiah said, "Hey, then we have players, so if he couldn't make the list."
There was a problem with that. Just to correct something, every time you mention Asamoah Gyan's name, people think automatically that you're thinking that Jordan should be on the bench. No. Jordan has played with us alongside Asamoah Gyan, and he should play. Jordan, I think he will play every match, and he was our best player on the day. It was evident. He will still play. I prefer Jordan on the right side over Chu any day.
What is his most comfortable himself? Where is he most comfortable playing?
If he's the lead striker, definitely. Like he showcased that day. Yes, and I remember in the build-up to the 2014 World Cup. Remember we played South Korea. He scored a hat-trick just before we went to the World Cup. But at the World Cup proper, he played alongside Asamoah Gyan. You know, he could have squared a pass to Asamoah and the result could have been different. Yeah. And even subsequently when Kwesi Appiah got fired and Marshall Kunedu took over, he still paired up with Asamoah Gyan. So we must increase our chances, you know. The reason I was talking about Asamoah Gyan was to take advantage of the dead ball situations. Not that he's so extraordinary. Yeah. He's in the twilight of his career. But even last year, when the team went to the US to play a number of friendly matches, he was our brightest spot. I'm talking about Asamoah Gyan, scoring a free kick from quite some distance.
Well, he's got the best record even with
the top batsman right now. And if the players there are not there on merit, then you should blame the coach.
Well, let's jump onto Facebook in a bit, but I was asking about Kwesi Appiah and how some people kind of expect him to be more active than we see him to be. What difference would that make?
I think we're in an era where we see a lot of coaches being animated along the touchline, screaming, the likes of Klopp, Mourinho. So people expect the same from Kwesi Appiah, but he's just not that kind of personality. He seems to be a bit more like reserved, doesn't want to be in the limelight so much. But then he together with his technical team will have to do more in motivating the players, definitely. Even though he's not someone who will be standing there shouting, shouting, he has to do more to motivate the players.
So it looks like, because
maybe he's not seeing anything to correct.
So is he also, are we supposed to, when we see him watching the game, are we supposed to be confident because of his own confidence watching the players? Well, is he supposed to inspire us who are watching, not necessarily the players?
I think the results should inspire you. He's not the type, like you said, but it's not about him shouting to inspire. No. When they see certain things wrong, players out of position, they have to speak to them. You have to keep reminding them. People are playing themselves out of position.
But does he, in his cool mood, does he?
Well, sometimes you see him making corrections. I've seen him on a number of occasions. But he doesn't do it often enough. Maybe it means to him he hasn't seen anything wrong. He doesn't need to correct anything. you know. But maybe that may be a function of his deficiency. That something he ought to be seeing, he's not seeing, so he's not correcting. For case in point, the positioning of the defense at the start of the game around the center circle. That's a big no-no, you know. So he's not going to change overnight. But bottom line, just get us the result. Whether you speak or not, sit down and cross your legs, doesn't matter. We want the result.
Okay, let's go to Facebook. Let's see. We're trying to figure out what people are thinking ahead of this game against Cameroon, whether or not they're hopeful. Zaina Issa says, of course, we can hope in Ghana. The players are aware of this game is very important. So good luck. Ado says, let the best team win. Stanley says, it will be a miracle from heaven because of the way we played 4 days ago. But if they uplift their game, it's possible we can win because nothing in life is impossible with determination and hard work. Preach on, Stanley. Ham says, when the last time the Stars won against the Lions, David
98.
says, Cameroon 2, Ghana 2, or Ghana winning by 1 goal. Hamza, okay, are you still with the normalization? Are you still normalizing? Are you still with one of the committees?
No, I'm not with
the sub-normalization committees.
No.
Because I was going to ask you about our budgets, especially because I see some 23K.
You're going to ask me? I've been asking for the budget for the longest time. And because of that, nobody even want to talk to me. Like, why are you asking us about the budget?
Hamza,
you see, nothing has changed so far.
Okay, so
It's
Hamza says a country that borrows pays its players this amount. We don't know if they're paying them $23K dollars, right? I don't know. Jenny says Cameroon 3, Ghana 1. Sulemana says, Inshallah, Ghana will win. Mark Johnson is just laughing off, not until they realize that Ghana is giving them an opportunity to exhibit their trade. Nothing good will come from those. They will lose. Oh. Kes says if only we play 11 against 11, then we can do something pretty good. Didn't we do 11-11?
Before the goal came forward. Really? At the time we considered the first goal, it was 11-11.
Okay. All right, Benedict, you've had me read comments from Facebook. I don't know. Are you hopeful about this game? What you say would mean a lot to me personally. Oh, we lost Benedict there. Benedict, I was hoping that he would give me something. Yeah. But let me. You are all I have, so.
I don't know if this will help you. The last time we won a game against Cameroon was in '98.
A century ago.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Not this century.
We lost to them
in the 21st
when we hosted the AFCON in 2000. We lost in 2008.
Yeah.
They beat us again. Right, yeah. So. We hope the story will be different tomorrow, and I don't think we are going to lose. I think we can manage to steal a draw from the game.
Yeah,
exactly.
What would a draw do?
Oh, just
then it means just have to win our last game and we are through.
Yes, we'll have
and
2 points.
We'll have to win against Guinea-Bissau.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Because you see, okay, Cameroon beat Guinea-Bissau 2-0, right? You would think based on the strength of the result, Cameroon is a stronger side than Guinea-Bissau, right? So based on that, you should expect a fairer result against Guinea-Bissau than Cameroon. So if you can manage a draw against Cameroon, which has shown such potent offense, it puts your defense in a better position to know that you can go up against Guinea-Bissau. So it's a legit estimation. But let's not just live on hope, because I know if you live on hope, you will die fasting. So let's not live on hope. We have to back it up. We have to back it up, definitely.
Well, thank you very much for the analysis. I am not living on hope, right?
You don't
not just on hope.
Okay.
You have to back it up.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Oh gosh, this should be good. Thank you very much for the analysis this
morning.
Thank you too.